What advice would you give to high school students who have an interest in China or wishing to pursue a career path similar to yours?
Trying to learn more about China, reading about the history, the culture, the customs of China, but most importantly, trying to learn Mandarin would be very, very important. You know, it's really hard to get a job these days, even when you graduate from college. But if you have a knowledge of Mandarin, if you can speak Mandarin, you're almost guaranteed a job.
It's a dual language program. We teach them concept, and we teach them some like knowledge in content areas. Not only have them read a book, recite the books back to us, and give them the text.
There's ample data to show, for example, that bilingual or multilingual people actually use parts of their brain that other folks don't if they're only working and thinking in one language. And I think for a language like Chinese in particular, there's even more interesting research to show that, for example, dealing with the system of writing that Chinese uses, Chinese characters, that uses a completely different area of the brain than almost any other language on earth.
Whenever you learn the characters, it's like there's a picture involved and a story involved, which is my favorite thing because it's very interesting that you'll always learn something from just one character.
What's happened in the last 5 to 10 years is explosive growth in Chinese language programs across the board, in schools and in states and in cities, in more public schools, in large urban systems. Each society, since about 2005, has had a Chinese language initiative. I think now, 7, 8 years after that moment where we sort of were interested in encouraging the growth of Chinese language programs, our focus has really shifted because there are so many programs now that we don't necessarily need to promote the growth of Chinese. What we need to do is help the programs that are expanding, that are growing, to do a better job of being sustainable. That is, to delivering a high-quality education to students and to making programs that are going to be long-lasting over year after year after year.
I feel that in the beginning, teaching a high school student in the United States Chinese, teach them Chinese was difficult and challenging. After 6 months, my student told me that even though it's not an easy language to learn, but they were able to write a character, able to read those characters, able to understand sometimes when they were taking the bus or walking on the street, they were able to understand some of the conversation. They feel so good.
And I think in the last, again, 5 to 10 years, we've seen, by most estimates, something like a 200% increase in the number of American students learning Chinese. And I think that's been primarily driven by the interest in opportunities for jobs in the future and the perception that learning Chinese will be an asset in finding a job in the future.
My mom told me about the jobs I can have, that I can make a lot of money when I get older if I learn Chinese, so I decided to take a chance, and I like it now.
3 years ago, we established a network of 100 American schools, now in 28 different US states, that teach Chinese, and not only teach Chinese, but teach it as part of a larger agenda for building their students' global competence. Also, with this network of 100 schools, we partner them with a school in now one of 23 different provinces in China.
East West is very lucky to be a member of the Hanban network, which comes to us through the Asia Society. This gives us professional development resources, books, technology, and opportunities to bring students and staff members to China to talk to learn about the Chinese educational system and to grow a sister school relationship.
I went to China over the summer. And it was really fun. We spent a week and a half in Changsha where we basically learned Chinese in a college. And it was actually, I think, what helped me most because it's you can't do Chinglish in China. You can't say what a friend likes 看电影. You have to actually say 我的朋友喜欢看电影. You can't do anything halfway.
Asian Society's Chinese language initiatives, at their very core, our goal is to imagine what the world might be like, or might have been like, if President Obama and Xi Jinping, his Chinese counterpart, had worked together on a project in middle school. That is, by having American and Chinese youth engaging with each other, learning more about each other's language and culture from an early age, we think this will have a very positive impact on the state and future of U.S.-China relations.